Bum 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 bum. Crime is on the rise. Cities are burning. Cities are being eaten by worms, covered in sand, and the heroes are holding amulets and cowboy hats. Welcome to the news. Dun dun dun. Bum bum. Penguin.
Why penguin?
Because I have a stuffed penguin on my desk.
You've mentioned this in the podcast before. We're aware of the penguin.
Okay, Fushigi.
A what?
Fushigi.
Are you pronouncing that
A
correctly?
magic gravity ball. You can do this.
You mean it's that ball where it's just the plastic over it that's supposed to look invisible, but it's not?
No, it's a glass ball with it's like a sphere. It's like a reflective spherical ball with a coating of thick, unbreakable glass around it. And you're supposed to do contact juggling with it. This has nothing to do with today's episode, by the way.
Which is?
First we need to explain to everybody
Yep.
who is a new listener.
Hi, this is Isaac. I'm Casey. Welcome to World Explorers, the podcast where we explore worlds and come up with ridiculous ideas and just build entire societies or cultures or maybe just one random person's story. We build worlds here, and they're weird, so don't expect normal worlds, but that about summarizes us.
Unique
No,
is
it's
the better
weird.
word.
No, it's weird.
Okay, yeah.
we can't play the unique card. We lost that card once we started milking Kieran.
I mean, it's unheard of. And hey, you're the one that added that. Surprisingly, that was not me.
Okay.
Like I would probably be the one to include the milking Kieran part, but that was somehow you. Anyway, today's episode. So I had we're going there. I had a strange idea for a world where it's commonplace for there to be heroes and villains, like superheroes, and not even just normal superheroes and supervillains, but superpowers, but also heroes who are like Western gunslingers in this world. But in the same world, we have superheroes like Superman, and in the same world, we have superheroes who are maybe ninjas, and all the different genres and varieties, all smashed into the same world. And it's the same thing for villains. We'll have your evil mad scientist. We'll have your superpowered villain. We'll have your classic bank robber.
Oh, so you're saying this is the world of cliche superhero?
Cliche superheroes and villains, I guess.
Yeah.
But they are all separated into different districts where they're not really interacting with each other. Like over here, you'll have your district where you've got your classic superhero like Superman versus the supervillain like Zod. Then over here, you've got your Western district where you have your gunslingers and your
train robbers.
Your train robbers, yes. And so I was, this is getting somewhat similar to Lego Movie, is what I'm feeling like.
Yeah,
I
won't lie, that was the very first thing that popped in my head when you said there's like these districts of superheroes. I'm like, oh, the Lego Movie.
They do have a Western district.
They do have a Western. They also have Superman.
They do have Superman. They have all the DC superheroes.
Well, yeah, because Marvel didn't want to play.
Or they literally made a joke about Marvel in the second movie.
They did. They made a joke about everything in that movie.
Anyway, so the reason I was talking about these different districts separating each other is because otherwise you have instances where there's a bank robbery going on, or a train robbery or heist or something in the Western district, was to stop the Superman character from flying over there and saving the day. Well,
Because
the
it's
reason
beneath
I
him.
came up with what
It's beneath him.
I can't understand
It's
what you're
beneath
saying.
him. It's like the classic any superhero story. It's like
Oh, beneath him.
why
Um,
isn't Iron Man off saving like this lady who just got her purse stolen? It's like because he's a little preoccupied trying to save the world from someone like Thanos. He doesn't have time to help a lady cross the street. You know?
Superman saving the day from Thanos.
No, I said Iron Man. I
Okay,
went to a Marvel reference.
okay, Iron Man. I don't know why I was thinking Superman.
Because you
Anyway,
keep talking about him.
yeah, that could work, but I came up with the idea that I think is slightly more fun,
Okay.
which is their culture is a cultural thing where you're it's just kind of frowned upon to go into the other district as a hero and try to stop a villain.
Yeah.
However,
Okay.
villains what
I was about to say villains don't care about
yeah, villains
societal.
wouldn't play. There's like villains might not play by the rules,
Might not.
or at
That's
least
that's
not
the whole
play by
point of the
them as
villain.
much. Yeah, so you'll have these interesting scenarios where maybe a villain has this evil mad scientist has gone into um, the medieval time with a killer robot, and the wizard hero has to step in and save the day.
What's so out of curiosity? What is the poor gunslinger gonna do when Mister Thanos level threat comes waltzing down the street with that music in the background? Cause I don't think his gun is gonna do anything.
This is where you get into some really fun and goofy scenarios. I was thinking that this might
No,
end up
this
being
is
like a sort of comedy sort of
no, this is where you end
story.
up where half a district dies because just doesn't have like the Western District is not going to survive. The medieval might if they have a really powerful wizard. Okay, they might make it. They could be okay. But the Western District you could forget about it. It just takes one bill and being like, this is my show now, and taking it over.
Yeah, at that point, um, this is where I think the writer might have to come into play and say there are two villains who want to take over, and it ends up being sort of like a rock paper scissors thing, where the big Thanos-like villain can take over the western area with a flick of the wrist, but there's another villain that wants to take over that same area that can defeat the Thanos villain, but the western guys can also defeat this other villain. So it becomes sort of like rock paper scissors.
That is
Or they have to come up with some sort of goofy, creative way of defeating the Thanos with pistols.
I mean, that's also fun. Or they just have a situation where certain districts got like overrun by other villains, and like there's other districts where there is no villain now because they moved on to like the weaker districts.
Yeah, but the problem is that maybe the villains look at these weaker districts and think of them as not a particularly high score, not very impressive.
Well, that doesn't. No, well, look,
Like,
controlling the place is controlling a place in the villain's eyes. I don't care what you say.
yeah, but they just don't find it very fun to control a lame place like the Western District,
Whoa,
when you
you
could
just
try
insulted
take
so
over
many people.
Metropolis.
You insulted so many people, myself included. I feel insulted by that statement. I think a Western world would be cool to rule over. And it might be the case that these people use these other districts as like base of operation, and then but their main goal is these other cities with like these bigger heroes, just because there's more glory in like defeating a Superman versus defeating a sheriff. No offense to sheriffs, but it's hard. You can't compare the two.
Yeah.
I get it, I know, but like there is no way to prevent the takeover of weaker cities. There's just not. It's gonna happen.
Okay, so maybe the heroes are supposed to stay out of the all the other districts unless specifically called upon by the district.
I mean, So I don't know. I think it's like a interesting story though when you have like these districts under thing. But out of curiosity, like let's detour goodness from that, and let's just ask the question: what happens if a hero tries to actually enter another hero's district? There shouldn't be any consequences for the villain, or else you don't have any story. But for the hero, I feel like there should be a consequence of sorts.
I think that entering as a normal civilian or whatever would be fine, but entering as a hero going around saving the day, yes, there would be consequences. For one, societal shunning.
Well, that seems stupid to me, because if I was someone who lived, we're going back to the Western, we're just abusing Westerns today, I apologize. If I was a maid, a barmaid at the Western world, and we've been attacked and taken over by this Thanos level threat, and we're now in servitude, and I have to do some things I don't want to do, and I'm very unhappy, and then all of a sudden I see Superman walking down the street. You better believe I'm not gonna shun him for showing up to help us. It's just not happening. So I think there should be a world element that stops them. Maybe like if you take a superhero out of their, actually this is actually could be really interesting. You take the superhero out of the world, or even kill them, that world gets deleted, or like disintegrates or something, which would force the villains to have to keep their heroes alive.
That's interesting. It's like so they keep on trying to like incapacitate their villains or their heroes, or they're trying to capture them constantly. Uh, but they aren't allowed to kill them. That is great.
Yeah, or else they lose the
if,
world. It's just sad.
What happens if you got like that spy um, thriller sort of setup where it's like you are now strapped up to the table, and a laser is going to very slowly approach you. Not the intention here is not to kill you by slicing you in half. The intention is to give you just enough time so that you don't die, but I still have enough time to get my evil plans accomplished.
But yeah, that works. Yeah, because you don't. I mean, and of course, in a world like this, you have to have that one place that's been completely destitute because the hero has been killed.
Yeah, maybe each district or world or whatever it is. Are we gonna keep calling these districts? Or are we calling them worlds or realms?
Districts I think makes the most sense since they're in the same world.
Okay, so
I mean,
maybe all these
big.
different districts. Maybe all these different districts. When the hero dies, um, it's unpredictable what happens to the district. Like for the most part, it's like pretty much every district is just going to be mass destruction.
Yeah.
Uh, you just don't know how the destruction is going to go about. One might be something like everything is dusted and turned ash, like Thanos snapping. Another might be everything slowly gets set on fire. Maybe there's some sort of a plague that wipes out the district.
A giant
Maybe
worm comes coming out of the ground and gobbles everything in its path.
Oh, I love that one.
I don't know why, but that's a very common thing in like sci-fi westerns. I don't get it. I don't understand the giant worm obsession, but it's a thing.
Yeah, sci-fi westerns. How often are those really done?
Yeah, but they can't be done without a giant worm. The Mandalorian did one. They did like a sci-fi western, and they had a giant worm. I'm just like, this is a true. Honestly, Star Wars in general just loves their giant worms.
What are they called?
Had a giant
what they're called.
And it has a western. It's not a western, but like there's a western element to Dune.
I can only think of like one other space western, which is called Brave Star. It's like an '80s TV show.
There's literally a movie called Cowboys and Aliens, and it had a giant worm in it, or worms in it, I think, if I remember correctly. I remember walking in on my dad watching, and there was some snake-like creature, which I could only assume was a worm.
I think we're a little off topic.
Just a smidge. But
we're
anyway,
really good at that this episode.
We are. Yeah, anyway, so we have the world's destroyed. So the real question is, so I guess we have to establish that, like, if a hero dies of old age, it just gets passed. Or the hero can pass down. Like, the hero can choose a new hero before he dies.
Yeah, like choose an heir. I like that because I was thinking about that too. What happens when the hero dies?
Yeah,
And I'm thinking an heir would be good.
and heirs is.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it's like a thing they wear that has to be passed down or something that holds the whole universe. So,
maybe it's some maybe it's something like say my name so my powers will become yours. Shazam!
I mean, that's an option. Uh, cause
I haven't
another.
even seen Shazam, but
I
I want
haven't
to
either.
see it.
I kinda do, I kinda don't. I have mixed feelings about it. I don't wanna watch it
Um,
alone. Anyways,
well,
that's not the topic.
if we were to have some sort of magical amulet or special item passed down uh, between the heroes, that could set a goal for a villain, which is retrieve said item so that he can choose the next hero.
Well, the
Maybe
thing.
he can't disable the hero's power, but maybe he can pass it down to someone else.
See, yeah, because that was actually like something that I was thinking. So it has to be like the hero chooses you. You have been chosen. Like the hero has to say something, do something very, very prominent. He's not going to do it to a villain unless we have a villain that is very good at not seeming like a villain until he gets the hero gauntlet passed to him, and then he's like, now I have control of this district. Mind you, he also can't leave the district now. But
Okay,
now
so it's
there's
a
no
villain who
hero.
pretends to be the hero.
Yeah, and now there's no hero to stop him, and there's not going to be because another one can't come, and then he has full reign until he dies.
Yeah, but maybe what happens is he gets an automatic superhero costume, and now all the villains try to take him out.
I mean, yeah, oh, that's true. He would still have to deal with other villains, but he wouldn't have a hero to deal with, and he could rule his
No, but
district
imagine what would happen if you had a guy like that who suddenly took on the role of the hero, even though he's actually wanting to be the villain. All the villains start ganging up on him, and so he has to now fight the villains. He wins, and then the city is like, "Oh my gosh, the city is saved! Thank you, new hero!" And he gets all of this praise, even though he was planning just a few minutes ago to take over the city.
I mean, he still can afterwards.
He still can afterwards, but now this guy's gotta choose. Do I keep do I keep saving the city and receive all this praise, or do I take it over?
You know, it depends on what type of story you want to write.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot
that's
of
the beauty of
interesting.
world building. It's like you can pull all kinds of stories out of them,
Yeah, anything you want, pretty much. But this is
even
definitely an
multiple
interesting
stories for
dynamic.
the same story,
Yeah,
multiple subplots.
yeah, there's. That's why I like series where they do like. I'm probably one of the few people who enjoys like prequels and like other stories based in the same world, like the Star Wars world and how like expand. I've just recently got into reading the books, and by that I mean I've read 3 of them, and it was the Han Solo trilogy, and it was amazing. But like I'm starting to like if I can find complete like miniseries in the Star Wars world, I'm like picking them up and buying them and taking them home to read. So you know, I really enjoy those type of series. I'm trying to get into the Cassandra Clare's whole her world, her Shadowhunter world. I've got the first series that I still want to read, and I love series where there's just so many books and they're all in the same world, but they're all like different characters or different aspects. That's why I love Marvel so much. I think
Yeah, Marvel did that really
because
well.
Marvel is like the best example of how to do this right. That might change as I read Star Wars books, but the Marvel series, like watching the movies and stuff, and the TV series now, and everything, and even the What If series, and it's just so cool. I that's my thoughts. I like worlds like that. So I like that we always create worlds like we don't focus on a single story. We focus on the world, and whatever story you want to write in the world, or whatever inspiration you want to take, you can.
Okay, so back to the districts.
Yeah.
I don't know where else to go with what you're saying, but we need to get back to the world building anyway.
I was being inspirational.
It was a good inspirational speech.
Thank you. I'm sure there'll be way too many of those in on this world. I'm thinking like there's one every like 10 minutes somewhere.
We are really bad at staying on topic.
This
Okay,
is topic. I know
so
what you're
let's
talking
go
about.
further. Let's go further with this world of heroes and villains and districts.
Other people,
So these items,
commoners, can they go about? I'm assuming.
Commoners, yeah, I think that commoners can just go between districts all they like, but each district, I would say, has their own way of life,
Well,
their
yeah.
own way of living. Some people choose to live in the Western sort of style. Others choose modern city. Others choose medieval. But you cannot, like, it is frowned upon to bring in your cell phone and your tablet to the medieval realm and then live there eating potato chips. No, you must live like a medieval person.
I can agree upon that. Even though, I mean, but here's the thing, like plumbing, baths.
You are not allowed to bring toilet paper.
Yeah, but okay, but this is a serious thing. Like, why are these people like this? Why are people still
I don't
staying in
know. Why are
medieval?
there still people living like Amish? Why are there still people who live in the jungle? Why are there still people who today don't own cell phones?
I'm not referring to a cell phone. I'm referring to the basic thing of having a toilet.
Amish, they don't have plumbing. I think
They have
maybe they do.
outhouses, though.
I don't
They're,
know. They have out. I think they
they
have
don't keep
outhouses.
their bathroom underneath their beds to dump out on their streets every morning, not caring who happens to be walking underneath.
I would hate to be Amish.
This is the medieval life. That's not Amish. That's medieval. The Amish have outhouses, and some of them do have plumbing, I
Yeah,
believe. And
yeah. I was thinking to him about it. I'm like, wait, do they have plumbing? I'm not sure. Is that a technology they're allowed to have?
look, some of them
I
are
don't know
driving
enough about
cars
Amish.
now, so who knows?
I have I have a bunch of Amish neighbor-ish people. They live somewhat
If they're
far-ish away, but
Amish-ish, they're probably Mennonite. But
there's
this
like
is
nothing out here, and they're all
this is
spaced
so
out.
off topic. This is like our most off topic episode ever. Can we just focus?
Back to the culture. No bringing your cell phones and tablets into your medieval.
Idea.
Yes.
These barriers, when you walk across them, your stuff like transforms to match the area. Like your clothes.
Oh yes, I like that. So like
Problem
you
solved.
go,
You don't have a choice.
so you walk through the barrier, and suddenly your baseball cap is now a pirate hat.
Yeah, if that's a I guess that would probably be a district. Yeah, or and then if you try to invent something like the cell phone in the medieval area, as you're inventing it, it's just slowly transforming into like it becomes like a magic item or something. Like you're
Like
trying to
you
make
like
a
try to
cell phone, and instead you make just magic rocks that allow you to communicate to each other.
yeah, or
No game, sorry.
maybe you have like a writing tablet or something. I don't know, and it turns into a piece of parchment paper, book.
Yeah, quill.
Yeah, a quill. You get a pen. You try and make a pen. You get yourself a quill.
Yeah, pretty much. And it just
Um,
changes as you go about.
yeah, I think technological stuff would probably transform into
Clothing
natural
too.
stuff. And if you go into, say, the medieval world, or not medieval world, the Western district, your technology and magic items would probably transform into maybe different type of guns. I don't know.
I
Maybe
mean,
if you bring in a sword, it turns into a whip.
or a gun. I mean, it could still turn into a gun, especially if there's an era without guns.
Yeah, well, if it's a sword, it's a melee item. If it's a bow and arrow, I can turn it into a
that's a
gun.
good point. That's a good point. A valid point. And each one of your arrows is one piece of ammo you get. It tries.
Maybe a sword turns into a walking stick.
Oh, that's great.
You can be like one of those fancy gentlemen from the Western movies that are always dressed in black, and the top hat they have a monocle, and uh, they have the fancy cane, and they're always carrying money on them. They've also got white gloves.
Yeah. And somehow they don't.
You know
get
those
this.
kinds of characters
Yeah.
that I'm talking about.
I do. I know what you mean. But yeah, we've solved the problem. There's a magic barrier. How does this magic barrier work, you ask? Good question.
It exists.
I mean, but do we want to try to explain the magic barriers?
We could. I was just thinking it was a part of the world, kind of
Yeah, it's
like
part of
how
the world.
gravity just there.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop us humans from explaining gravity.
Yeah, but it's like I still don't fully understand gravity because it's like the bigger something is, the more mass it has, the more gravity it has. Okay, what is the correlation between mass and gravity? Why does more mass equal more gravity? I didn't. That was never explained in my physics books. It's always just accepted.
Okay.
It always bothered me.
Isaac, wall. Magic wall. Where's it coming from? How is it working? This thing is literally will not let a specific type of person through it, and anything else that goes through it gets transformed. It feels like, okay, oh my gosh, you haven't watched WandaVision.
I have not. I'm sorry.
No, it's the perfect example. Okay, I'm gonna do it anyways. WandaVision, the magic wall in which everything goes through. They changed timelines into like whatever era Wanda's living in. It's that wall. It's her magic wall. We are creating the WandaVision magic wall thing.
Everyone listening will understand. I will not.
Yeah, practically everyone knows what I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, I have a lot of movies and TV shows I need to catch up on.
Yes, you do. 'Cause I want to talk Marvel with you, and I feel like I can't.
I can talk about Endgame. I still need to watch Spider-Man Far From Home so that I
You
can
haven't
watch.
watched Spider? Oh.
I haven't watched that, and I am more
Oh.
excited. Like I am super excited to see No Way Home, even though I haven't seen Far From Home yet.
Just warning: don't get your hopes too high about the villain, like I did, and you'll enjoy the movie.
Oh, okay. I am getting my hopes high
it's
for
an
No
Iron
Way
Man
Home.
level villain.
My hopes are very high for No Way Home.
My hopes are way too high for No Way Home.
Like,
It looks
they
so
are
epic.
bringing back like the other versions of Spider-Man, even though I don't like the Andrew Garfield films. It's still cool.
Isaac, we're distracted
Yes.
again.
Off topic. What does that make? Like 10 times now?
I don't know. I hope you guys are okay with this. Like, how many people are still listening to this and being like, yeah,
How
I'm
many
fine
people
with
are
this?
following along with what the world is? Because we spent more time not talking about the world than we have actually world building on the World Explorers
Okay, I'm
podcast.
gonna summarize the world. So we have this world, and it has tons of different districts, and each district is a classic hero versus villain trope like world. So you got things like the Western and the pirates and the medieval and the modern, and inside each world you have a main villain. I guess you have multiple villains possibly. I don't know how it works. We probably should dive into that more.
Villains.
You have your villains who can go between worlds however they like. Mind you, their weapons and stuff transforms because barrier, but they can go wherever they want. Meanwhile, your main hero is stuck within its district. He cannot leave because the wall won't let him. And if he was to die without giving an heir, saying he has an heir, then his entire district would just die in very dramatic fashions, probably portraying to whatever district it is. Like the medieval world would, I don't know, have like a plague come sweeping across and kill everyone. The Western world would have the giant worm come out and eat everything. So that's pretty much the world.
I mean, I was thinking massive sandstorm buries everyone.
Either way, it's not pleasant. So you protect your hair, and the villains don't want this because they'll die too in the world. Like the barriers close down the moment the hero's dead. Barriers close down, and mass destruction occurs.
I mean, one option is for the villain to manage to kill the hero and leave the district like at the same time, or set off a trap for the hero inside the district while the villain is safely outside the district. The problem with that is, if they defeat the hero, they no longer have a district to rule over.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So they're trying. That's why they're trying to incapacitate the hero and not kill the hero.
Yeah, you want to put him in a dungeon, maybe torture him a bit, keep him barely alive. Yeah, but that's the summary of the world. And so, yeah, and you got lots of villains racing about. There's more villains than heroes in a world like this, which is...
Yeah, I think that maybe uh how do villains come about? Can anyone be a villain, or are they? Does it have similar rules to the hero where you have to do something or inherit something to be able to become a villain? Because some
Well,
of them would be super, like have superpowers, while
yeah.
others would have super genius and be a mad scientist.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, cause like my first thought is like anyone can be a villain, but heroes are chosen. Like that's the type of world this feels like. But at the
Okay.
same time, yeah, you're right. You want like superpowered. I mean, I guess the world itself, like the barriers and things. Maybe so the person so a person who wants to be a villain, it might actually be really simple for them to become a villain. In that all they have to do is go through the barrier. And the barrier into whatever zone that they enter in will make them a villain of that zone.
Okay,
Like,
so people are basically trapped in their own district unless um like people are trapped in their own district because if they try to leave, they are forced to be a villain in a different district.
no, they're not. No, no, no. It's just people who want to be a villain. Like the barrier can read that.
Oh, the barrier can just sort of read if you
I
desire to be a villain.
Yeah, actually, this is a really interesting idea because this would solve our problem of having like villains who are really overpowered in a low-powered like society. In the sense that when they enter a new district, they become a villain related to that district. Mostly because the clothes change and therefore so say in like the city one where you have the hero gets like is all powered up with their fancy suits and stuff. In that district you might get some really cool epic powers as a villain and be able to do things, but then you find yourself in the Wild West one and all of a sudden all you've got are guns and a really good shot. But on the bright side, you don't have to train to shoot a gun, you just got it naturally.
Yeah, maybe you have like ridiculously good vision.
Yeah, but
And like if you watch westerns, everybody is just a crack shot.
it's
They can hit anything with pinpoint accuracy with no time to aim.
which
They just
is
quickly draw,
so
shoot from the hip.
unrealistic because
Yeah,
those guns are so bad and unpredictable that just won't happen.
yeah. Because a lot of time what it is like you got the two people sitting there, and then someone says draw, they withdraw, and they'll fire off all 6 rounds and not shoot each other.
Bonus. And then in like classic Western fashion, they'll just be like, "Well, that was that." They'll shake hands and then they'll consider the dispute settled and they'll walk away. Yeah, Westerns are weird.
I'm not a huge fan of westerns. I've
I'm
seen
not
like
either.
3 westerns that I've actually
Hey, that's
enjoyed.
like two more than I have. In seen, just in general. I like
Oh
Western
no,
TV
I've seen a lot
shows.
of westerns.
I've seen a
I've
lot
seen
of
a lot of
TV shows.
westerns.
I see TV shows.
Uh, Getting off topic again, Young Riders is a good western TV series. Anyway, getting back on topic.
Oh, I was about to get off topic. I don't remember what the name is, but there's a doctor one where it's a female doctor in like a Western type world area. Now it's really good, but I don't remember the name of it. That's probably gonna
Is it
bug me.
Dr. Quinn or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember
It's really good.
my family started watching it, and I don't think we got past the first episode. My mom was really wanting to finish it, but we were all like, no, there's just too much blood for us. Turn it off.
Wow, weak. Okay.
I was like 10 at the time.
That's fair. But I personally, at age 8, enjoyed it greatly. Just saying. Anyways, back on topic now. I'm good now.
Where do we go with this? What else do we world build? We've
Uh,
got the villains and barriers. What if let's come up with some story ideas. What if a villain from what if multiple villains from different districts decided to team up and go at and try to take over some sort of hero in a district? So now this hero has to fight villains that he is unfamiliar with, but these villains are also fighting in an unfamiliar setting to them.
And they also have
And
unfamiliar powers to themselves. Like, they're still figuring it
yeah,
out.
and
Hey, you know?
so now maybe something you have is your League of Supervillains going around gathering other supervillains, taking over the districts one by one.
It's a
Uh,
story.
Everything is all the districts are crumbling one by one. They're taking the master builders and locking them away. Uh,
Yep.
it,
Your only hope. Okay, Isaac, fun. Your only hope is the person who somehow is a hero who can transport through barriers and can gift that ability to other heroes.
oh, what if because it's these items that get passed down? What if the item can be transferred? Like the item can go beyond the barrier, but the hero cannot. So the
See,
hero could
yeah,
give
I
the
almost thought of it like the reverse, maybe more. Like the hero, like that, or that amulet is the thing that keeps the hero from being able to pass the border, so neither can because they're bonded.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Something else I thought of with these amulets. What if it wasn't limited to just being an amulet, but maybe it could be any sort of everyday
Well, I
item?
think it would fit whatever world you're at. Like,
Yeah, it would fit with the world, but
I mean, imagine in the Western if it's just the cowboy hat.
yeah, it could be. I was thinking like in the Western, it could be a cowboy hat, but when he passes it down to the next hero, suddenly it's a sheriff badge.
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, it could change
Yeah,
per
it
person.
changes between different people,
Yeah, I
and
like that.
so if a villain were to try and obtain this item from the hero, he would have to first figure out what that item is.
Yeah, but I don't know if a villain should be able to get it. I mean, without it being gifted to him. Because the truth is, if he, like. Because I think the whole idea is that. Maybe it shouldn't be a cowboy hat in that case. But, like, the whole idea is if the hero kind of separates himself from his item for too long, maybe he's good. Or I don't know. It's a
Maybe
connection
he
thing.
loses his powers if he's separated from the item for too long, or whatever sort of special abilities or items he has. He loses them, but he
Yeah.
doesn't die. He just loses his ability to be
Okay, so
hurt.
that would make the villains wanna just.
Alright, so with Superman, it acts like kryptonite.
Yeah.
Uh, for maybe your Western sheriff, his vision starts to decrease, his hands become shaky, and maybe his gun jams.
Look, I don't know, because it feels like it's really easy for the villains.
Again, they have to figure out what this item
Yeah, but all you
is.
have to do is like get him knocked out once and you're done. You just strip him bare.
Maybe for me, another thing is it could be like a sort of a recharge system where if you keep the item with you at all times, you become you're at full power. Or you could leave it at home and then you're good for the day, but as the day goes on, you're slowly going to be losing power. Like you can only be separated from it for so long.
Yeah, but
So
what
you
if
can
it's just
just
not something that separates, like separatable, like it's a tattoo or something?
so the goal of the villain is to sever the hero's arm.
No. Look, I don't think it should be possible for the villain. Look, the heroes have a hard enough time. They could have like 80 villains just waltz into their door at any moment with no help coming for them. The least they can do is to just not. And now you want to add on to these poor heroes that if the villain like chops off this mark or does something to them, they could lose their powers. The powers is all the hero has.
They don't even have a family to protect. That's why their secret identities aren't secret.
Yeah, 'cause
They all have no families.
yeah, exactly. Like they got nothing else. I'm sure the people could help, but like they're common people who, and plus they can leave whenever they want and like wander different districts and stuff. But
True. So yeah, I guess it would be something unseparatable. Let's say it's a tattoo on your teeth. I
okay, I look. The
don't know.
tattoo can be anywhere you want, and if it happens to get removed quotation marks, it just reappears somewhere else. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I don't know
It's
why I chose
magic.
teeth.
I don't know either. Those things pop out. People lose teeth more than they lose an arm.
Okay, so yeah, arm, hand,
Wherever
toenail.
it fits best for the particular hero.
So what else have we got?
Honestly, I
What do the
think.
tattoos look like?
Oh, good point. I guess I think that should be like one of the few universal things. Like though that's the same throughout all of the. It should be like the design of the wall. Like what does this wall look like? That this barrier, which I still think WandaVision was just like this red barrier thing that's staticky that you can easily walk through, but with an effect on you. So I don't know.
So maybe maybe for like the western area, it would be something. The tattoo might be a sheriff badge. For the city, it might be
I mean,
what's a good
so you don't
superhero?
like it being universal, like the same
I
for
mean,
the one
we
uniting
could
feature of all the heroes.
we could make it just one unique feature, but what would that look like?
I don't know. What's a universal symbol of superhero? Wait, I'm gonna look up. Ooh, that's not how you spell. Universal symbol for superhero. These are just heroes that are well known. This does not help me.
Okay, so how about maybe a shield with a star on it? I don't know.
I see a lot of that. I see a justice hand is popular.
A peace sign.
It doesn't feel very universal. I got an open eye.
What's the eye for?
I don't know. I'm just looking at pictures.
Illuminati.
Yeah. Except that's like the pyramid with the eye.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of the heroes being sort of the defenders of the people, so a shield was what came to my mind.
Yeah,
And then a
sure.
star because stars are cool.
Not because your video game name.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking about that at all, Star
Uh
Strike.
huh.
I was
Uh
just thinking because stars
huh.
are cool.
Sure. Whatever you say. Sure. Let's go with a shield.
Okay, with a goose on it because you don't like the idea of a star.
It's just star is very like. Look, a shield with a star is associated to one superhero in particular, okay? And I'm looking more universal.
Oh yeah, that's taken. So a shield with lightning on it.
I'm trying to like think of a symbol that's not gonna like instantly make you think of a hero.
Okay, the
But will make you think
moon.
the moon?
You'll like this one. It's got the moon on it because
Mm,
when we look up in the sky, we are all looking at the same moon. Is that a Death Star? I guess we're not all looking at the same moon. Some districts have Death Stars.
mm, just
But yeah, that's what came to my mind was we're all looking at the same moon, so we're all connected via that.
it's the one thing that's the same in all the worlds is the moon. Or the sun, like if you wanted to do that.
Or the sun. We could do the sun. The sun seems more powerful of
It
a
does.
symbol.
Okay, so it's a shield with a sun on it.
Oh, so what I was thinking of was the story of that army guy. I think it's like his name was Andrew York or something. I can't
Mm,
remember. He was a guy who didn't want to kill in war,
uh,
but because it went against
yeah, religious belief.
Christianity. York, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you know, I know. Yep. I
Okay.
know what you mean.
Anyway, so I remember watching the movie. I think it was this movie
I've seen it.
where he wrote a letter to his girlfriend or wife, I don't remember, and it's like at this time on this day, look up at the moon and know that we will be looking at the same moon,
Oh, yeah.
so that you don't feel so far away from each other and everything. And now imagine if we did something similar with this world, where it's like at the same, it's like every year we will hold the ceremony of heroes, where we can all feel connected to each other. At this time, on this day, we will all stare at the sun.
No. Goodness. I mean, I like the idea of like a heroes ceremony where like all the heroes are connected, but at the same time, that just screams a villain takeover day.
We're gonna all stare at the sun on the same day at the same time.
Okay, that doesn't have to be an actual thing. But you know what? An element, despite the fact that we're getting nearing the end, I'm gonna throw in a new element. An element could be fun. Alright, and it's called the Great Switchover. And it's one day in which the villains lose all their powers. And the heroes can go between barriers. And at the end, and the thing about this one day is it's a day where a hero can choose to live in a different district if that other person agrees to live somewhere else.
Ooh. Well, then wouldn't that force another hero to go and live somewhere else, which would force another hero to go and live
You
somewhere
can
else,
switch.
and so on?
You could just have a
So-
simple switcheroo. Or you could have a complete, like, scattering of different heroes. Or they might have a system in place where, like, they switch it up every... I don't know, like, a 5-year ceremony. Or some... And then... But then you know... It's an idea, because it's just an element. I don't really want to build on it too much, because there's a lot to, like, work on it, and we don't really have the time for it. But I think it's an interesting idea to throw out to whoever wants to invest on this world.
I don't know how many people are gonna wanna make a story out of this world, but
If you do,
you know,
just
this
add
one
it
was
in.
still fun.
I liked it. I like superheroes.
Not as good as some of our others.
Why
Partly
do
maybe
you
because we
always
were
do
off
this?
topic
Why
so
are you
much.
so... well, yeah, that was an issue. But, why are you always so deprecating to our episodes? Like, I always
Well,
feel
I
like we
always-
end the episode with you being disappointed with something.
Well, you keep. Didn't you just recently say that you feel like I always say this was one of our best episodes?
Yeah, I know, it's one or the other with you. You're like, this is either the best thing we've done or
It's
this is the
either
worst.
this is like fantastic
Or
or
it's awful.
this wasn't
Like,
all that great.
Yeah, like, why can't you just be like, you know
I mean, I
what?
still think it was good. It just wasn't as good as
I'm ending the
something like
episode.
How the Jungle was made.
No,
How
we're
the
ending the
Jungle was
episode.
made
No,
was
but I don't need you
wonderful.
compare. Stop comparing this episode to other episodes. They're all unique and beautiful in their own way. You're a terrible
Yes,
episode
the goal
parent.
is to keep one upping yourself. That's how you improve.
It's just with like the type of content we make. Okay, we don't know what the episode's gonna be like. And they're each unique in different ways. Just because you think it's not, they're just different. That's it. All our children are different. All our little episodes, each one is different and unique and beautiful in its own way. And you should stop self-deprecating them and just let them live their lives. Okay.
So you think of these episodes as our little children where we have to love them all equally.
Yes. Because they're all going out into the
Okay,
world and they
I'm
need
gonna
all
be
the help
that-
they can to survive YouTube because it's a scary place and the podcast channels.
I'm gonna be that parent and just be like, hey, world of heroes and villains, why can't you be more like Jungle Man?
No! I'm ending the episode. This episode can't take much more. I'll just die before it ever even makes it online. Bye, guys.
I need a hero to save me now. Need a hero to save me now. I need a hero. Just in time. Save me just in time. Save me just in time.